So that's the packaging off. Yeah, brilliant. This is a seller with thousands of feedback. Hello and welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going to do a repair attempt on a Sega Master System 2. This follows a very short 5-minute rant where I was absolutely raging when this arrived, because even though it spares and repairs, the seller thinks it's appropriate to send it like this. Everything you can hear rattling around, there's even tape stuck directly onto the box here. It's not even covered up here, and their response was, given it's broken and the box worn, I didn't think it needed any additional packaging. So I've already done a rant on that. But what we're now going to do is try and repair it. The problem is I'm in two minds, because one part of me just wants done. Like, I'm not interested in it anymore because of how it arrived and the seller. But the other part of me kind of wants to prove a point and get it working. So that's out the system, and now we're going to try the repair attempt, and fingers crossed it's the latter. We get into the groove and we actually make something positive from something negative, because I really dislike negativity. So let's have a look. So we'll actually be able to get inside now and have a look at the state of things. If I didn't already mention, I think I did, it was something, it basically just said that it had been tested, nothing happens when it turns on. So my thought processes are going to be, I need to check things like the power. Is the fuse okay? Is it the power on button itself? So just some basic testing really. First of all, we're going to have to take this off and very carefully remove the tape from the ends as well, without ripping the box. But yeah, I mean, this is like an example. So you can just literally see as you're taking it off. See here how that's already pulling the surface off. Sometimes with this you can use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol as you go along. You can also use a little bit of light heat just to kind of loosen the adhesive. At the minute it's not going to need us to go to those extremes. I'm just using a little bit of care to take the tape off. There again you can see that line just on that crease. Right, so that's done. That's the internal packaging. Let's have a look at what we've got. It's nice when you get lots of paperwork. I mean, at least I can always reuse that. We'll come back to the box later on, because I'll probably just do that off camera. Okay, so it smells musky, so this is a... Yeah, you know when you get that certain smell? This is something that's either been found in a loft or something like that. Right, so we've got the control pad. It's all going to need cleaning out. You can see all the dirt in here, so that'll need stripping down and rebuilt. The buttons are feeling okay. The D-pad's present. You often find a lot of these online with the D-pad missing for some reason. Yeah, from the shape of my memory, I think this is the correct mains adapter for the Master System 2. The Mega Drive ones are a little bit chunkier, so this one for the camera is 3008-05, 10 volts, 500 milliamps, and like an aerial. Thing is when so this is the oldest style splitter. So that's into the Mega Drive, into the TV, and then you've got your aerial would be here. So you're saying, do I want the Master System or the TV? So look at the console. Seems to be moving relatively freely, as does that. Nothing obvious inside, i.e. there's no kind of dirt, corrosion, etc. So, something moving around inside there, a screw or something maybe, can you hear that? So something rattling around. The instruction manual, so that's always nice to have, especially when you finish something and get it all boxed up. We have, I always really like these bits, at least we've got like one of the registration cards as well. This perforation is still attached, and then you're completing your details. Where did you buy it? Where is it purchased? It's always fun to see those old names. I don't know if you can see that. So we've got Curry's Dixon's, Toys R Us, WH Smith's, a toy shop. Also got Comet, Virgin, Woolworths. A lot of these stores no longer exist in the UK. We have Couple of manuals, Sonic the Hedgehog, The Lucky Diamond Caper, starring Donald Duck. A control pad backing board, interesting. So that's quite nice. The standard epilepsy warning, and then the fold-out thing that shows you all the variety of games. Well, these are always nice to have as well with your console, so you get whatever was going on at the time, and then in here it'll kind of groups them together: arcade, shooting games, action games, family games. So a good amount of paperwork. I like this kind of stuff that brings things to life, and it gives them those kind of new feels. And at that point, we're probably just going to want to start having a look at the power. We're gonna need to find out what's rattling about inside, but we'll do our initial testing anyway. So let's plug this one in. So this is we're expecting 10 volts, and this is positive on the outer, and negative on the inner. You can see we're getting 12.7 volts, 12.6 volts. Sometimes, because if you on the plug-in they were saying 10, they can go over and under by a volt and a bit. So that's about right. So let's plug it in. Just going to ignore that little bit rolling around for now. Let's just see what happens. You don't get a power light on these, do you, from memory? No, you don't get a power light, do you? Right, so I've managed to find an RF that goes in there. I'm not sure if this is the right one or not. I'm pretty sure that will do the same thing as a male out, because the one that came with it, this really long one, although that fits in there, that doesn't go into my aerial socket on the TV. So what I'm going to do now is just see if I can get anything to show. It's not picking up any channels at the minute, just dug out my testing game. What I'm going to do is I'll be right back. I'm going to go and test this on my Mega Drive setup, and that way I will know if the cable is the problem or not. Okay, I'm back. So what I did was I went up with my Master System and plugged it into my Mega Drive setup. So I literally took the plugs out the back and put them into this, and nothing happened. So then I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll bring the Mega Drive down, and then at least we know we've got a working system here. So using the power supply from the Master System and using the cables that I had plugged in already, when I turn on my Mega Drive, you can now hear in the background Mega Games 3 on the TV. So I know that these two are good, which means that now as I'm testing here and turning it on, I will know for a fact that I'm actually getting signal coming out. So let's go inside now and just see if there's anything obvious. We know there's something rattling around. Maybe it's the on-off button, maybe this is stuck, maybe a fuse has gone. It's probably, it might be a tricky one to diagnose, but we'll see. Well, here's that piece that was rattling around. So that's part of the door mechanism, I reckon. Doesn't seem to be crucial. I reckon it's maybe a little bit of this bit that goes around there, but that's still okay. Somehow we need to know, is it power, is it signal out? Let's maybe just get the board out and see where the power's going. Could be a combination of that and these two, is it? Yeah, the latter of the two. So just some very quick Googling. There's a number of fuses on here. It's these ones with the green tips. Just popping this into continuity, you can see if I test the fuses, there's like 1, 2, this one here. So all the fuses are fine. So my next thing I want to do, there's some more of that, is to just see how far the power is going from here. So we can see our power coming in there, and then our switch was down here. So that's our 12 volts. And then if you move it across, yeah, so it's reading nothing across it now. And then you want to see how much is going in by, this is ground. It's getting 10 volts in to the voltage regulator and 5 volts out. So 5 volts is probably I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's not 0, that's for sure. What's on here? Let's just have a look at the continuity on this reset button, see if this is doing anything. All I've really found so far is there's power going into there. There is power coming out of the switch. There is power getting to the voltage regulator. You know, is it breaking down in a component somewhere? And this is where my knowledge slowly peters out in terms of knowledge of circuit boards. And so what I'm just doing now is just clutching at a bit of a straw, but going off past experience. The way it's dropping its voltage makes me think that's probably okay. In fact, can you hear that? I've actually got Sonic. I've got Sonic on the screen now. There we go. So we've got it working. I literally have no idea why. Maybe I've touched something. Maybe it was the reset button I wasn't entirely sure of. But for whatever reason, we are up and running. Right, so look, as I'm pushing this reset button now, nothing is happening on the screen. I'm wondering if, because I was doing the continuity, I forced it out of a loop where it was stuck on a blank screen. I think I have spare one of these. Let me just check my parts box. Okay, amazingly I do still have one. I'm going to replace that switch. There we go, so it's come out. They seem to be acting in the same way, but let's just swap them out anyway and see if that does make a difference. Now, let's just see if anything is different. Okay, there's something up with that kind of switch area, because I'm triggering it manually and it's working, so something's just not quite right. I think we found the problem anyway. So what I might just do is quickly just keep doing what I'm doing, just tidying up a couple of bits, and maybe I'll just reflow a couple of areas that are nearby it. Okay, what you can see here is this is now with the original cable it came with, this kind of with the kind of chunky tip going into this splitter box now, and it does go up onto the TV, but the quality is terrible, and you can see how when you slide it, if you did have an aerial going in there, obviously it's cutting between the two sources. And so instead, if I literally just take that section out and then just go direct with what I've got is just this kind of negative end, and then whatever goes into a TV, a million times better. So you know, I'll probably include that, but I would certainly recommend not to use it. So what we're going to do is rebuild now, and we'll see what it's like when it's been unplugged for a little bit of time. Okay, so that's the console put back together again. As you saw, just some light cleaning as I went, things like taking the buttons out to ensure that you could get into the surrounds behind them. So what I need to do now is carry on with testing a few of the other bits. So the controller we had as well. That's great, it's actually working absolutely fine. But we'll do it anyway, because this dirt around here, there might be some inside. So I'm just going to strip down the control, and equally that will give people a look at how to do that as well who are watching. And so these are our control pads. You can see this is why it's worth doing. Look at all the kind of mud and stuff that's inside there. That's all the cosmetics done, and now I'm literally just going to tidy up the pads. So some people will clean these parts here. I prefer to go on the pads here instead, because you don't want to take too much of the carbon coating off, otherwise the buttons don't work as well. But whereas in here you can see there's dirt and stuff built up on these. So actually what I prefer to do is just get in here and clean the metal contacts off instead. All looking good, so I'll put the screws back in. Right, that's the controller done. I'm actually going to give them both a light polish shortly, but in terms of being clean, that's those two done. So what I'm going to do now is move on to the box. This is our box as it stands. Looks like this. So we've got tape on here, rips here. This is all like absolutely battered all around here. So what I'll be doing is, I'll try and start on camera if I can. I'll be cleaning this up, getting rid of the tape, pressing it flat and repairing it. Hello, welcome back. That's everything done. So I'll show you over the box and everything that's finished, and then I'll demonstrate it on the TV. So this is the box now. As you can see, it's much more box shape. And what I've done is I've cleaned it, pressed it as well as I can, and then I've repaired it as best as I can. So for the repairs, I've essentially used a combination of high quality craft glue and tape. So little areas, this is an example. So for up here where there were tears, I've reinforced here. Then you can see sections here, here, and again there are areas kind of inside as well. And then where it was peeling apart, kind of at the sides, I've then re-glued it in shape. So it's much better than it was before. It's brightened up a little bit, which is nice. It's box shape, but it is still a little distorted in areas, not massively, but kind of like crinkled here. But that would easily still display nicely. So that's the box. You've then got the paperwork. I've just removed the bits that aren't really applicable. So what I'm going to put in with this is going to be the manual, the kind of registration card, the guarantee, sorry, the epilepsy warning card. So that's your kind of console bits. Then put in the games catalogue and the manual for Sonic the Hedgehog. What I'm also going to do, because I think they were originally in there. So when you look at what this originally came with, you can see here it came with the unit, the control pad, the power adapter, which is plugged in at the minute, the RF box, an RF cable, Sonic the Hedgehog, and as the game built in. And this aerial was in it as well, so I might as well just include the aerial because that would go with the switch box. So they're all going back in. But what I strongly suggest you do is get an RF cable that looks like this on the end, this end, to go into the back, and then whatever connection best works at the other end for your TV. So for mine it was kind of a male version of this. Look at the difference in this now. So what I've done is, that's my fingerprints, is you've obviously seen me strip it all down, clean it, take all the switches off, get rid of all of the bits and bobs, and then finally I've just given it a light polish at the end just for the final touches. And then what you also saw me do was strip down the control pad all the way and rebuild that as well. So I'll put that back in, but there's something I'm pleasantly surprised with. Check it out. So first of all, we've got it all in, telly's on, it's tuned to this earlier, so I kind of went through the frequencies and picked it up. So I just turn on the power now, and straight away Sega comes on, and there's Sonic. Got my pad plugged in. You can see everything nice and responsive, looking up into the air, crouching down, both buttons working. Now watch this. The pause button is now actually working. So I don't know if that's chance or because I changed it, or when I rebuilt it something happened, but the pause button works. I don't get any temperamental nature when I plug the power in. It all works absolutely fine. So I'll turn it off and grab my other cart, so the test cart. Slide that back. Those two little tiny bits of plastic don't affect this at all. It's nice and sharp and snappy. Pop the cartridge in, power it on, fires up straight away. Needs Action Fighter. Just go into a name and okay, good. So look, you can see. I don't know if this button does anything on this game, but we know it works. So you can see all that working. Now let's again check that pause button. Maybe that's for bombs or something later on the see, pause works. So absolutely everything is working, which is brilliant. So in summary, what you know, we have made something positive out of what was a real negative start with a lot of time and a lot of effort. But what I'm now able to offer is a box in acceptable to good condition, but it's the Sonic the Hedgehog box, which is nice, always displays well. You get a lot of paperwork, which is really great. A few bits, a few peripherals you can just add in. All you need to do is add your own RF cable. You get a nice condition, fully stripped down and rebuilt Master System 2 that is all working. And before I sell it again, I'll also retest it. Like, I'll give it a couple of days and I'll just stick it back in, and the controller as well. So really nice. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm only a small channel. And until the next one, all the best, take care and see ya.